good morning.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to our new time slot, second in line. It's on our Wednesday in July. And, well, we've got quite a bit to talk about today. There's so much going on in the background. And obviously, I'm here with my right-wing man, the mighty Win, who's going to contribute to all the subjects. So, firstly, we're just going to do some housework. Again, welcome across all channels. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching. Thanks to everybody in the background that's working alongside us, doing all the bits and pieces as they normally do. Don't forget to hit the like button.
By the way, just a big thank you there, Andy, to Mighty Mark, who's in there again, and he was on every single show for the full show yesterday. So well done, that man. He got to bed the same time as I did.
Yeah, bless him. Yeah, work tirelessly, as we say. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy the show, and hit the dislike if you don't, because again, it just takes us a bit further across the pond to other NUFC supporters. Subscribe, hit the bell for future notifications, and if you want to support the club, the channel, become a member for a small monthly fee, and that will give you a chance to win some prizes. Don't forget to check out our webpage. It's updated regular. One of our writers is the mighty Win himself. NUFC Talk TV for any news or up-to-date news and content. It's totally ad-free, so you can read without any disruption. And we do it literally for the love of the club. If you've got a question you want to ask us during the programme, put a Q at the start of it, just so we know we can have a look at it as part of the programme, and then we'll come back to it. But we won't talk about every single one, because obviously we've got a lot to talk about today. If you want to guarantee your chat to be talked about on the show now, just whack the $sign, and you can sort it out from there. New members and gifts from memberships will be highlighted and applauded as we go along. Right then, mate. So again, I was talking to you in the green room, and I've decided to try and make it a little bit of a different formation.
We're going to be structured.
Yeah, a little bit of a formation. So I'm going to go literally from the boardroom to the team, okay? So according to the lads in the know, and again, I don't know who's in the know these days, because it seems to be everybody. There's a picture come up from a post that was showing Amanda Staveley booking out the room for a meeting. I'm trying to see where it's gone now. I think it's that one. Bear with me a second. I might be wrong.
Surely not.
No, it's not. I don't know where it's gone. It's gone somewhere. And from that meeting is obviously the kickstart to what happened last year, if you remember, because what they did last year was they put up this fancy style boardroom stroke thing at Newcastle, and the next thing we knew, there was some movement regarding incoming players. So is this Paul Mitchell's tick box exercise with the board, with obviously Eddie Howe, to see what type of players we can afford, what type of players we want to buy, the style of players, and is it literally go from now? What's your thoughts on this, mate?
Well, first of all, I'd be very surprised if we didn't already have. I don't know what you're on about, by the way, in terms of the Newcastle thing. I haven't seen anything on that.
So Amanda Staveley,
but in terms of Paul Mitchell, I'd be very surprised if we didn't already have in place, spending plans for the window. I can't believe for 1 second that we've had to wait until the actual day that he's appointed before we start doing stuff. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, it's quite possible that whilst he hasn't actually been officially unveiled to everybody, as being on board. He has been doing work in the background anyway, in terms of recruitment.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
was this. The way I look at it is, last year there was exactly the same meeting that took place right at the start of the season, just before we were going out to obviously start buying players, and I honestly thought that there was a chance of us. This is the place. It's a place in Newcastle, and I turned around and I thought, if this is the start again, this is Amanda Staveley that's apparently reported this. I haven't seen it from Amanda Staveley. It was somebody else that had put it out on X, and it's exactly what they did last year. A booking from Friday to Sunday for player evaluation, and it's again what we were saying before about when I'm not saying Paul Mitchell hasn't got his black book out and sorted this stuff out. It's more the fact that, is this now the ironing of the creases? Where they actually, when they've got say 20 names in a book, they highlight the ones that are top of the list all the way down. I know you could be saying they would already have that done, but obviously it's going to take a while to get all the T's and all the I's crossed, because we are going to look at all the stats. They're going to look at all of last season. There's still a lot of players still playing in Europe and the Copa, so obviously it's going to be delayed to some degree, isn't it? But this is what they've turned around and said, that they were going to have this big meet from Friday through to Sunday to discuss players and obviously potential incomings. And if you look at the links that we've got now, we seem to be linked with nearly the world and his brother, which we were last year. I'm not saying it's any different this year. We seem to be, linked with a lot already, don't we?
We certainly are. But as I say, I think I am more than happy with the way the hierarchy at Newcastle do business now, because it seems to me that we see all these links being thrown about willy-nilly here, there, and everywhere, and then all of a sudden we're signing a player that nobody's even mentioned.
Mm.
And I think that is more the modus operandi of Newcastle United these days than feeding links to preferred journalists and all that sort of stuff.
We've mentioned it before, are they? Like red herrings being put out there, these names, just to keep, the wolves away from the prey, if you like, that we're looking at.
Exactly.
So
and,
I
and, and indeed encourage other clubs to go for the targets that we don't really want. Because that means then, if they spend their big bucks on those players that we are allegedly after, relying on our scouting network till we've done a good job and therefore they're good players, let's go and get them. And if they spend their big bucks on them, that means they haven't got the big bucks to then challenge us for the players that we are wanting to sign. But I know you had your structure and the way you want to do it, and it kind of falls into that. But I'm wondering, with it being, because I wasn't aware of this boardroom having been booked for 3 days until you've just told me. So on that basis, could that not be linked more with the other big story that's being reported?
We'll move straight into that then. We'll move straight into that.
Wouldn't it be nice to invite the chairman of Aramco or Saudi to Newcastle instead of inviting them to St James's Park before they give us a nice £500 million for stadium naming rights? So
absolutely.
So what you've just said there ties in more with the thing that's exciting me this morning, more than with actual player recruitment. I'm not saying that they won't combine the two and do both, maybe, or whatever. But I would, I would think perhaps that if with the new facilities they've got at the training ground and things for data analysis and video analysis, I would have thought that a meeting of that sort involving player recruitment would be more likely to take place where they can, you know, they could do it at Newcastle. Obviously, they could set up video replay facilities there, but that would seem a bit daft when they've got everything much more highly technically adjustable and variable, so they can keep switching from let's have a look at them doing this, let's have a look at them doing that.
Yeah.
In the purpose-built place which they've now got at the training ground.
Absolutely.
So interesting that the place has been booked. I just wonder whether it might not have been booked for what you were originally suggesting, but instead booked to impress any would-be sponsors.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, I mean, again, you know how these links are, mate. To be fair, it's the same picture as it was last year. So I'm not saying that it has been booked. I've got no inside knowledge of this. It could be just somebody reposting what was done last year at this time, because it was a very similar thing before we started to see actual movement towards players. Because at this present moment in time, it's just speculation, isn't it? You know, there's lots of lots of reports, if you like, from Italy, from Spain, Turkey, you name it, that we've been linked somewhere along the line. So anyway, if anybody's not aware, that's come out this morning. Me and Win we're talking about it in the green room. There's reports saying that there's a new stadium sponsor imminent. With any, I mean, Win's mentioned 500 mil because it's in the Chronicle. I looked at another source where it says it was potential over 400 million to be reported. Now, it doesn't mention who it is. So both me and Win were surmising it's Aramco or Saudi, yeah. And obviously, it does sound a lot better than the old stadium name, which was soon changed back to St James's Park. So,
if somebody's going to give us £500 million, they can call it Roker Park for all I care.
No, I think you might get a few in the chat that disagree with that one. But I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. But you know, when you look back
if calling the stadium Roker Park means we can sign Mbappe, Roker Park it is.
It is. Yeah, right. Like I say, I can't wait to see what comes up there, because there's probably going to be a lots of things ending in off.
Well, as we've mentioned in a couple of the shows before, that the lettering for the Newcastle United has definitely been moved further along.
Yeah, that's what you said, wasn't it?
Now, I haven't seen any shot yet of the full Newcastle United.
Yeah.
The new Newcastle United on the East Stand, and where it is relative to where it was in terms of being central.
There you go. I'm going to send it to you, buddy. I'm going to send it to our link. All right, mine and your private chat. There you go. I've sent it now. If you want to, you can put it up on the screen.
Can you not stick it up on the?
Well, it's easier if I put it, because it's on my phone. I haven't got it on my computer. So
right.
if I email it to myself, I've got to wait, and then we'll put it up on the screen.
Right.
So
okay.
I go doing the WhatsApp now. You can throw it directly up. But I mean, Beer Viking has put in here. He's Saudi Telecom (CTC) are on the horizon. So you know that's what I'm saying. There's potential for a number of things to come our way. To be fair, but the money that they're talking about is very exciting. It really is, because it means it's going to open up a lot of doors. Now, apparently in the past this has been delayed because obviously the Far East connections and God knows what, or the Middle East connections. And apparently this is again surmised that they were relying on to get us out of the problems with the PSR. So at the end of the day, it's great news because, like I say, that looks like it's imminent now. And as Win as just alluded to, that there's potential meeting could have been for that as well as looking at potential player signings. But while we're talking about St James's Park, I'm just going to inform you of a development that's come on because obviously there's some upgrades being done. So anybody that's doing a stadium tour between Sunday the 14th of July to the 12th of August, you will have no access to the dressing rooms due to upgrades being done. So if you are planning on booking, don't book during them dates because they want to get everything sorted before the Cellar Cup, I believe. I can't quite remember when the Cellar Cup starts, but I'm sure it's before the Cellar Cup games commence. So just be aware of those dates. So,
So it's on
have you?
screen
Oh,
there
there you go.
now.
You look on the screen. There you go.
So if you see that,
You see how it's got
if
bigger?
you, if,
Because you
if
were
you
under the
look
E.
at the if you look at the lights on the top, the center of the sign, which is the E, because that there where the cursor is now, that is my seat. I used to be directly under the E, and that E is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those lights along the top. 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's still under the E.
Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting.
It's just been spaced out differently, buddy. If you look at the two end
So
lights, compared to where it was before.
So that in fact debunks my theory, unless there's going to be a logo put on both sides, which is a possibility. That debunks my theory that it had been shifted along in order to accommodate a sponsor's logo on the side somewhere. Right, because that puts me still right under the E. Oh, well, there you go. You learn something every day.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you look at what everybody's been saying this, because originally they said it was photoshopped because the C here, look, I don't know whether you can see. Oh, it's on your screen, isn't it? You can't see it on mine. If you look at the
That one,
C, yeah, if you look at the
bottom
C,
C or the
it
top C?
looks the bottom C, the top C looks in the same case, doesn't it? Yeah, all
Yeah,
in italics. Where if you look at the underneath one, the C looks smaller to the other lettering, the same as what Mighty Mag's saying there. So originally, when this first come to light, everybody was saying that it was photoshopped, but in actual fact, it's not. It is legit, and I think it's just the way the lettering is for the size of it. But it does. I see what you're saying. It does look a little bit smaller. But like I say, that is everything regarding that I'm aware of. Have you heard any more drums going on regarding the ground at all? With any,
no,
new
no,
things
no,
that
no. I just
it was just on that. So right, okay. So that's the board. We've heard nothing again from what's happening behind there. We just know that there's some meeting going on, and I've told you about the upgrades coming into the changing areas. So for anybody doing the visits, don't visit during them dates. So we're going to move into the team now. So
but
goalkeepers.
the only other thing to say about that is that deal itself will dwarf any other potential sponsorships.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That is kind of game changing. If we can get a £4 or £5 million cash injection, because what it means is, you hear all this talk about amortization of contracts and so on and so forth,
Yeah.
and we will undoubtedly be utilizing that tactic ourselves. So what that means is, if we are buying a £150 million player and writing it off over 5 years, length of the contract. So that's £30 million per season.
Yeah.
If we are getting £100 million a season from one single source, then that £100 million a season allows us, which is money that's effectively already banked, to risk-free amortize, let's say, 3 players at £150 million over that 5-year period. In the full knowledge that that's not going to affect any other money anywhere else, and we'll still have the 100 million plus the shirt deal plus the whatever other deals they managed to get in. So we'll still effectively what we've got this window, which, as I've said many times, I think is well over 100 million we've got to spend this window. It means we've got that, plus we're going to get a kickstart of 3 elite players, at least 3. I'm saying 3 at 150 million, but let's say 1 at 150 and 3 at 50, whatever. 450 million pounds worth of talent that goes on top of everything else that would normally be able to spend.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think
so that's how big this deal could be.
I mean, it just comes to show when you look at the wider things, the wider scheme of things, just by waiting for these monies coming in, like I say, now having to go and sit in front of the Premier League as an owner of a major business to say that you want to sponsor somebody is ridiculous.
It's
and
nonsense.
That drives me it's absolute nonsense. And it's just another way of them stalling the movement of Newcastle going forward. So I'm just going to move on to the players, buddy. Now we've done the back room, and there's potential good news coming, which is great. Watch this space. So goalkeepers. Luckily for us, we haven't signed another goalkeeper. You'll be pleased to hear. But we have obviously now lost the interest from Celtic to obviously buy Dubravka. So that leaves us now with obviously 5 keepers. So what do you reckon Dubravka is going to do, or what do you reckon Eddie Howe's going to do? Do you reckon he's going to want him to stay, or do you reckon he's going to try and ship him out as quick as he can? Because obviously,
you know where I stand on Dubravka.
I know you do, mate. Absolutely.
I think Dubravka's an excellent keeper, and it wouldn't bother me one little bit if he was still here next season.
Yeah.
But that is not the popular belief. And do you want a potentially unhappy, disruptive figure? I'm not saying for 1 second that Dubravka would be unhappy and disruptive if he remained, but he'll be looking to get away. And here's the thing: maybe if he's got his agent on the case, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And nobody comes in for him.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll then have a little word with himself and say, well, nobody's interested. Maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. Or, of course, he takes the mighty dollar and goes to a Saudi club who just suddenly, because we need the money, perk up interest. Not that there's going to be a lot of money involved. I mean, I can't see we're getting anywhere big bucks for him.
No. But I mean, according to
at his age, but
they are looking for a younger striker. So obviously, age is a problem for any European club now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Paul Mitchell especially has a history of really only signing under 23-year-olds. Yeah. I'm not sure that's what we need at the minute. I think I think Chelsea have proven that if you buy even if you buy the best youngsters in the world, if there's not an old head amongst them or a couple of old heads amongst them to be the cement among the bricks or whatever,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It sort of started working towards the end of the season, but look how long that took for Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
It took them a season and a half for to get that model to work, whereby going out and getting the best young talent available and paying stupid top dollar for it,
Yeah.
is certainly not going to hit the ground running, which is
No.
what we need. We absolutely need. The priority has to be to get back in that Champions League at least next season.
Absolutely. I mean, I would be absolutely. Well, I'd be sad. I really would, because with the effort that they put in with this year, and unfortunately, just by pure unluck, players not being available, name it what you will, we didn't get in, obviously, into Europe. And I know, like I've said in the past, and there's a part of me that stands by that. I still don't think we are a big enough squad to play the amount of games that we're expected to play and still finish in the top 4 or 5. Um, I'm not saying that's not going to be this year, because I think this year we'll have a much better platform. I know you were obviously on the other side of the coin saying we've got, anybody who doesn't want the Conference League, blah, blah, blah. So I understand both coins. I really do, because obviously you've got the pull of players coming in, and I also know you've got the financial side of it. I know it's not a lot of money, but it's the financial side of it when it attracts other players. That's what I mean. Because you're probably going to get players for a little bit. I wouldn't say less, but there's probably less of a to in and fro in, because if the player says he wants to leave and play for you, there's going to be very little choice for the club to start obviously throwing these silly prices around. But I mean, obviously now, because obviously the interest had gone back onto Trafford, hadn't it? There was obviously a link saying that we'd obviously gone back in for Trafford, starting at around 18 million or something like that, going up to 22 million. I read. Again,
Oh
I
well,
don't
there
know.
you go. You see, at 18 million, I'd be happy to give Trafford a shot.
Yeah, I
But
know, but that would be 6 keepers.
once you start getting at 25 million, 30 million, no. If you're going to pay 25 or 30, you go for the finished article. You pay the extra 5 million, you get Mohamedashvili or somebody like that.
Yeah. That's Josh. Hi, Josh. Welcome on board, my friend.
His beard's feeling a bit more nervous. Has Josh got a bet on with someone?
Whose beard?
Josh is saying my beard is feeling a bit more nervous these days.
Oh, tell us more, Josh.
I wonder if he's got a bet on with somebody that we don't know about.
Absolutely. Well, obviously we saw Roy having his baby face Roy for
Yeah.
a few days.
By the way,
before
hasn't it grown back in quick?
Oh, amazing. His testosterone's a lot better than mine, obviously.
Aye, it's obviously all those fancy scents he used.
Absolutely.
I've bought some of his recommendations, see if it works for me.
Was that on your Wednesday night?
No, they did the scent of Royston last night.
Oh, bless you.
Packer Rabanne Privé.
Ooh, there you go. So anyway, we've covered goalkeepers to a degree. As of yet, we've got no more details. Like I say, apart from the interest from Celtic has diminished, and there's going to be obviously a
please Ian
discussion.
Fleming.
Well, exactly. I know Ian wasn't very happy anyway, but there's a part of me that actually feels quite upset for Dubs. I know you've been behind him all the time, and I think Beer said earlier on that Dubs is better than obviously Oddie that's coming from Forest. So in my sense, I can't see the point in it, apart from obviously it was part of the deal behind the scenes, even though everybody keeps telling everybody that it was a separate deal. I still think there was a lot behind that got it over the line. If I'm honest, I think Nottingham Forest wanted rid of. We obviously needed money in, and it was a golden handshake.
It was a convenient way of swapping money for FFP.
Absolutely.
But having said that, I mean, the kids played for Greece, who, you know, they're not one of the stellar nations of the world, but he's had, you know, I think he's played 7 times for Greece. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know anybody that's seen him play. I haven't seen him play, and I never bother going on YouTube to watch these things because you can make any player look like Maradona with YouTube. So you've got to see them for 90 minutes with your own eyes. For me, so I haven't made any judgment on them at all.
No, just before we go on to the fullbacks, Ridwan, I don't know who you are, my friend, but welcome anyway. Breaking news: Amanda Staveley set to leave Newcastle. Anybody got the full story on this? If you can, give us the heads up, because as of yet, I haven't seen anything. Or, mate, if you can look into
Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes, apparently. Matt Hughes has got the story of Amanda Staveley leaving this summer. There you go. So let's see what the rumours are there. Ben?
Well, there you go. That could be what the boardroom's booked for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. It's obviously there for a reason. Ben Mavin, welcome, matey. If we can't get Bowen, Mbeumo has to be next target. Well, we're going to have a look at that in a minute. But I mean, my mate here, my right wing man, has said Mbeumo from the start. To be fair, I'm just going to have a quick look. It also
we've got the Sun here.
Yeah, exactly. It's in Sun. Amanda Staveley is set to quit her role at Newcastle this summer after 3 years leading the club. The 51-year-old has played a key role at Newcastle Saudi takeover, which resulted in her taking a 10% of the club. Okay. Well, there you go. That's breaking news as we're online, guys. Amanda is set to leave. So watch this space. I mean, I know she's been struggling with her health, and I know she was obviously struggling with bankruptcy issues and everything else because that Greek owner wanted his money, and there's been lots of talk behind the scenes. But if I'm honest, you know, that girl has been amazing for the club as a front person. She's been a real good ambassador. She's been very positive across the board in trying to sell the business. So if she does go, then I wish her all the best. And it'll be a sorry day that we say goodbye to her, because she has been a great ambassador for the club from what we've had in the past anyway. So that's breaking news, guys. So there you go. That's interesting. But like Mighty Mag has said, cheers, Ridwan, for the heads up. And guys, I do rely on you guys if there's anything out there. While me and my mate Win here is giving us just doing what we've already found out this morning, because it takes quite a few hours to get all this information, because you have to try and find a decent source. There's lots of rubbish out there.
Doesn't actually. It says nothing other than the fact, which we already knew, that she'd sold most of her actual stake in the club to the Rubens.
Yeah.
So we already knew that, and we already were aware that probably the reason she did that was in order to help out the other side of our business, which, as you say, was reported to be going through some dodgy
financial
times.
scrutiny, isn't she? Yeah,
So
exactly.
She needed cash. She was able to make a lot of money from the value of the shares when she bought them to the value of the shares when she sold them. And if she was able to then transfer that capital into another, good luck. But I'd be sad. I'd be very sad if she went. Because she's done such a great job, and the women's team especially.
Bless you.
She's been fantastic for the club.
I don't know how you get on when you become our main reporter for the women's stuff,
That'll be right, Bonnie lad. Not a chance.
Right. Let me just have a look at what Ken said here. Nobody seems to realise if we go for Mbeumo, We lose him for at least 6 weeks every time the African nations. Yeah, that's true, mate. Every second year we are going to lose them, but it happens these days,
Yeah.
and it's something that we have to get on with.
What I say to
Josh
Ken though
from
is you do realise that, for example, Liverpool have had that same problem with Salah,
yeah, for years.
who I would respectfully submit is far more important to Liverpool than Mbeumo would be to Newcastle. And that's something you've just got to live with, because it doesn't just happen to it won't just happen to us. It happens to all of the top clubs. And the thing is, you have to have squads big enough to cope with that.
Yeah. I mean, Josh here, across the pond, is saying that, I know a discussion with someone that this may happen, but it's likely to be just paper thing. And not that she's disappearing. So I hope so, matey. I really do hope so. Oh, this is worse than Diana. But yeah. Ben has come up with a question.
Good. Conspiracy theories. Yum, yum.
Theory. And Burnout or Alanga, I can't stop thinking about how Alanga carved up BDB. Yeah, absolutely. DXK win. Thoughts on NUFC ladies signing the goalkeeper over the height of 5'2"? Yeah, sleep time. Hello, everybody. So I am just going to go through these, and then we're going to go quickly on to. I hope Amanda stays as some paid director on the board. Absolutely, matey. Waldo, job done. She probably hasn't had any say in the club anymore. Good luck to her. I don't think that's probably true. I think even though she sold her shares, I think she's still very respected for what she's done for the club already, if I'm honest. So I wouldn't think it was just a case of, well, thank you very much for what you've done and goodbye. I think she's still got a very big say in what the future is at the club. But anyway, I'm gonna stop it there. Thanks anyway for everybody. But if I can just ask everybody who's watching, just to pause for a second, just while I'm looking at these chats that are coming in, and we can answer some questions. If you would just would kindly mind just pausing or whatever and hitting the like and subscribe for us. We've got lots watching. You're more than welcome. Please support us going forward and hit that like and subscribe. Ron has put down the Rubens lent her the money to buy her 10% and she sold 4% to pay it back. There you go.
Well, that's true as well.
Yeah, win. What did you do with the 4,000 you won on the game show?
Well, I put that in the chat last night, DX, and you didn't read it out. We went to see. We had 3 nights in a 5-star hotel in London.
Yeah,
and we went to see 7 West End shows over the 3 days. So that's what we did with it, and it was all gone, but we had a ball.
And that's all that matters. Did you have a ball? Beer has put everyone carves up BDB. He's like a turkey at the carve.
No. He's from Blythe. You'll never ever beat Dan Burns.
So here's an interesting one for you.
By the way, get your merch. Get your merch. Get to the website.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have a look. If you go on the website, there is a link there to get some merch. So please feel free again to have a look, see if there's anything you like, and fire away. So we're going to go into the. We've got to goalkeepers. We've talked about them. So we're going to go to fullbacks now. And this was a little bit of a surprise, if I'm honest. I was not. I was flabbergasted, if I'm honest, because I really rate this guy, and I didn't know where this had come from. So I made sure that it wasn't just clickbait as they call it and ITKs, and there's an actual link out there in Turkey. And Talks in Turkey said that we've been scouting this guy for a really long period of time. The Fenerbahce right back and left back, Ferdi Kadioglu. The 24-year-old fullback that can play either flank. He's a great little player, had a really good tournament with Turkey, and probably wouldn't cost too much to purchase, somewhere in the region of 25-30 million. Now, when I looked at this, it was like a case of he's not going to come into our squad and sit on the bench. There's no way. So does that mean that we're going to lose, obviously, Tino to be a bench warmer again? Or is it the fact that, he is going to come in to support both flanks? And the other thing I thought about is Trippier leaving. Do they know something that we don't know? Because obviously this guy has got some form. I have put him up on the screen. Well, sorry, I haven't put him up on the screen, but I will put him up on the screen just so we can have a little bit of a look at this lad. He seems like somebody you'd want to see at the club. So Ferdi Kadioglu, 24-year-old, place of birth was in Arnhem, in Deutsch. Dutch player, he's Turkish, obviously citizenship, but he's born in Holland. He's played, a lot of minutes for Turkey at the main centre. But if you have a look here, he can play both sides. Mainly, he's played mainly
on the left. He played left back. He played left back the whole game for the whole tournament for Turkey, and there's a lot of clubs after him.
Absolutely, a lot of clubs in Europe are after him. But he can obviously play both sides. He plays left back as a right footer very comfortably. Reminds me of the days of the likes of Dennis Irwin for the other United. But very good player, and that's what I'm saying. He's very comfortable in the left back position, and obviously it's showing here that he can actually play in the middle of the park as well. So just going to expand that. I don't know how much you guys can see on there because I feel as though I've got it so small that you can't see it. So let me just expand the screen. That got any better? There it is. There you go. So current value market on here now. Like I say, I don't take any of this for any notice. 21 million, but they reckon somewhere in the region of 25 to 30 would turn Fenerbahce's head. Obviously, there's, like I say, at the minute, there's a lot of interest coming from Borussia Dortmund, who seem to be kicking that way. And obviously, he was an international up to under 21s for Holland, and then obviously decided his national team was going to be Turkey. And to be fair, he's had, like Wynn's already said, he's had an amazing time in the tournament and played really, really well. All season long for Fenerbahce. To be fair, I was really surprised when I saw this lad because he is one of them that could fly. Don't know. I was going to show you another part of it, but I'm not. I'm going to stop that now because that's. I want to move on. But yeah, he's certainly something that come out of the blue. And like I said, what I want to talk about with you guys is, if we are really looking at this level of fullback, do you think that Trippier is gone? What do you believe, mate?
What do I believe?
Yeah,
I believe.
I mean, I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't.
Well, I hope he doesn't as well. But I'm kind of torn on that as well, for the simple reason: if Tripp stays, he plays.
Yeah.
Right? And that means if he plays, Tino doesn't play.
Yeah, exactly. Unless having him,
it's a real conundrum as to which of those two is the worst. It's great to have the option for him going off the boil as he did, for example, last season, and being able to bring Tino in. But what message does that then give to Tino?
Yeah, exactly.
So
there is also talk, and I don't know whether you read this. I was looking at. Oh, he's gone out of my head now. The doctor who covers Newcastle United. It'll come to me in a second. I've been looking at some of his work, and there's a couple of guys that I've interviewed him, and it's not a concern as in we've got to be worried about it, but they're still not 100% that Tino is going to be fit for a whole season. Now,
Tino,
yeah. Well, don't forget he come back from that serious injury when he was at Southampton, and we bought him obviously, literally just the people were saying just at his peak again, He came over to us, and obviously last year there was a couple of times where he got that bang on the foot where he twisted his foot of the same leg that he had operated on, and whether that twisted the ligaments again, where he said it was sore afterwards. So he lost a couple of games where he wasn't available, and that's what they were saying. There was still a question mark of obviously if we lose, and again this is all question marks. None of this are facts because nobody will know the full facts. If we lose Trippier, if he is still a question mark about his full fitness, are we struggling at fullbacks? Because then, you haven't got a lot to fall back on, have you?
Well, you've got Kraft, obviously,
Yeah.
and you've got Ashley Harrison. And not,
Yeah.
not
They're not going to
yeah,
blow your socks off, though, are they?
yeah. But just
So,
this is Karagioglu's heat map for the season.
yeah, beautiful.
Well, not if you're looking for a right back, it's not.
It's beautiful, that is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, but listen, look, we know he plays on that. But yeah, look, but to me, that's just how Trips has played for England. He gets up to that 3/4 level and he stops because obviously being right-footed, he'll find it difficult to spray the ball in with his left foot.
Well,
And
no.
that's exactly what
Well,
Trips.
I would say au contraire to that, because what this has proven is that on the left side, Karagioglu gets way past the halfway line.
Yeah, the same as Trips does for England. That's what I'm saying on the left-hand side. But he stops the 3/4
You know,
wide
this is
because
the
he hasn't got a left.
direction of travel here. He's playing
Yeah.
left back. So as I say,
If you were to put that up against like the likes of Hall, who gets right at the pitch, because obviously he's naturally left-footed, that's him travelling so far to the edge of the penalty box and then coming back onto his good foot to whip the ball into the box, or obviously play the ball back. But I mean, to be fair, that's exactly what I expect to see from a right footer. Exactly what I expect to see. But it just proves that he gets up the park on a regular basis, which is what I love. Right then, I haven't heard anything else from any other centre backs, to be fair, coming into the club. So I don't know, and I'm just going to have a quick glance because I've just seen Almighty Mags just saying bye bye to everybody. Thanks for your support,
cheers,
buddy.
matey. Thanks for all your work.
He looks as a crowd pleaser, don't stop energy, and Ferdy comes in, Trippier leaves. Yeah, I believe that. And then Beer saying that he thinks Kraft's going. Now I thought Kraft's got another year on his contract, hasn't he? I think is this his final year, or has he got 2 years left? Can't remember. But again, I honestly thought that because Kraft covers that centre back position, and we are still looking into that area, and I'm going to come on to another name that's been mentioned potentially that could be on the lookout for a new club, and I was just going to question mark it to everybody else, but it'd be interesting to see where he goes or who goes. Josh has just put down that I agree. I have had a sneaky suspicion on that one too. Beer Viking. Here you go. So that's Josh agreeing that Kraft is on his way. But I honestly believe that Kraft will stay because obviously our right centre back is still an issue, and Kraft is that support network in that area at the moment. I know we've got lots on the left hand side, and if you're happy with 2 left-footed centre backs, then obviously it's not a problem. But obviously, the minute if you want balance, we are definitely looking at right-footed centre backs. I don't think Eddie Howe's thinking that way. So quite nicely onto centre backs, we're going to go next. Obviously, we know that we've obviously had a look at Malik Ture. And it still remains a really big interest. But there was a link today suggesting that Mark Gahey isn't going to sign a new contract at Palace. Now, obviously, he's going to want, or Palace are going to want, quite a large chunk of money. But do you think there's any chance that we could snag him from the big boys and make it interesting coming our way? I mean, I don't think we're there yet. Because I mean, he's had an outstanding tournament. He's
He's
been
had
one of the
a
players
fabulous, and he had a
for England.
fabulous season, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely for Palace, absolutely, and he's exactly what we would looking for. But I mean, I know he's played on the left side of the
And that's the
centre back
point. Is
spot.
that's my worry. It's another left-footed centre back. You know,
Is he left-footed? Is he not right-footed?
no, he's
Is he not?
left-footed. Gay.
Oh, is he left-footed? Sorry, I didn't realise he was left-footed.
Pretty
I honestly
sure
thought
he's
he was
left-footed.
right-footed. I haven't looked, to be fair. But we are. I mean, obviously, again, there's no links to this guy, so please, this is just pure me hoping that we're gonna have a chat with him and seeing if we can get him, because I don't think it'd be south of 50 million for him at this current time, because obviously Crystal Palace seem to be issuing lots of really good talent at the moment. I mean, 4 players at international level, that takes some doing for any club. I know we've got it, but not for England. I'm saying we've got
No, hang
obviously
on.
players. You put it up on the screen. Ron's saying here,
Gary, you're apparently right. It says he's
yeah, I
right-footed.
thought,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sure he
I've
is.
got one report saying left-footed, but transfer marked is saying right-footed.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen him
Just
obviously
2
play
secs
balls
here.
with his left foot, but that doesn't
Talking
mean that he's left-footed. But it was just an interest to think that he's not
amongst
interested in.
yourselves.
La, la, la. I know, like I say, there was talk that he's not interested in signing a new contract at Crystal Palace. So, like I said, is that the fact that now he wants a shot at one of the big clubs? And we are 100% in a position to offer this lad a contract, because we are looking. I mean, if you think of what we've got in the back, regardless of numbers, you've got 2 lads beyond 30 who, Cher's been absolutely outstanding, but he's not gonna keep going. He's gonna get slower and slower and slower, the same as BDB. Was he 32, 33 this year? He's done really well, but again, he's only gonna get slower from now on, because unfortunately, that's what age does to all players. So, is he going to be our number 1 going forward? I don't think so. And the other problem you get with a little bit of age is the potential injury crisis that we could potentially have. Yeah, he's very dominant on the left-hand side there, isn't it? So
That's
I
Mark
think we
Gay's
do desperately need.
season heat, Mark.
Yeah,
I
Gay.
didn't realise you
Gay.
got over the halfway line as much as that.
I didn't, to be fair.
So
I didn't. But it's like I said, it's surprising to see him well up there in that position. But
indeed,
it's something to think about. I'm just looking to see if Ridwan, George Corking from The Athletic is now also reporting Newcastle co-owners Amanda Staveley and Medved Guduzzi are to leave the club after 3 years. Okay. Mere Viking. BDB can't get any slower. Oh dear. But that's
leave my man
where
alone.
that's what I thought you'd say. But that's my, from my point of view, this is all speculation. There is no links whatsoever. I'm just thinking it's really strange that he's not wanting to sign a contract, and he wants to go somewhere else. So, have we had a chat, or are we going to have a chat?
If I was a Crystal Palace fan, I would be furious because
I agree.
there is no reason why Crystal Palace shouldn't be. What's the point of supporting a football team? I mean, we know what it's like when we had Ashley.
Yeah.
What's the point in supporting a football team if you're not actually going to try and challenge and do something? Crystal Palace right now are financially stable. They've got a team there which finished the season, by the way, as did Chelsea, with a phenomenal. I think Palace finished the season with 8 wins out of 10 or something, including when they beat us. Which was better. Their end of the season, I'm sure, was better than Chelsea's was. You know, they were in the top 3 or 4 in the league on current form at the end of the season. So you've got that already. You've got your last season's money to come. So you've got £100 million coming into the club. They're getting sellout gates every week. Surely you say we're not selling anybody. We are gonna have a proper go to get. They've never been in Europe. We're gonna have a proper go to get into Europe this season, and that means we're not selling Elise, we're not selling Ezzy, we're not selling Gay, we're not selling Wharton.
Yeah,
they've got 4 players in the England squad right now.
Exactly.
If I'm a Crystal Palace fan, I'm saying what's and they sell any or all of those, which is looking likely that they're accept. Well, in fact, Elise is allegedly already gone, hasn't he, to Chelsea?
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. He's agreed everything.
What's the point in supporting them? I mean, I know you've got. You've got to because they're your team, but all that's happening there is that the owner is just laying in his pockets.
Yeah.
Unless he proves me wrong, and I mean they've got Dougie Friedman there, director of football, who's doing a fantastic job, which is why we wanted him, why Man United want him. Everything is set up there to be successful. Yeah,
that's what I said. It does. You've echoed it.
As Ridwan's just said in the chat there, this new manager they've just brought in, what do they call him again? He won the Europa with Frankfurt in 22.
Yeah, he's got out of my head.
Oliver Flasher, Rashner,
Flackner or something. Yeah,
something like that. It's
got to be good for him, hasn't it? But I mean, like I said,
it's going to be good for the Crystal Palace fans.
Yeah, I mean, there's no links to us at all. All I'm saying to you is, I mean, Foxy's put here. Who you talking about regarding signing a contract? Is this about Gay? What I read this morning, and again, I don't know how true it is because it's like I say, it's all paper talk. But he's not extending his contract with Crystal Palace, apparently. So are Crystal Palace going to cash in on him? That's more or less what I'm saying. I'm not saying
the fact that they've sold Gay, they've sold Elise. Sorry, what message does that send to Gay and to Wharton and to Ezzy? You know, we're wasting our time here. We're wasting our time here because this club doesn't want to do anything. When we are selling our best players, what's the point in being here?
Yeah, and that's how I'd feel. That's exactly how I'd feel, and that's why I alluded to about our club getting in touch with Anthony Gordon. Glasner is his surname. Ridwan said
Oliver Glasner. That's right.
Oliver Glasner. That's it.
Thank you, Ridwan.
And that's where we were saying before. You know, when you look at it, you know, if your mood isn't great. I mean, I'm not saying his mood's not great because he's had a great tournament, and then you hear somebody's coming in for you, then is your head going to turn? Especially at a selling club. Now, we've been there in the past, haven't we?
Of course we have.
As supporters, we've all been there. And it's been absolutely gutting to see some of your better players, you know.
Well, best players, let's be honest, not just better players, best players.
Yeah. And that's, what's Foxy say here? Palace will be fine, whoever leaves. The scouting ID is proven now with Friedman for years. Yeah, I agree, mate. But as a player, would you be happy to see the club constantly getting rid of your best players? Because I don't think I would. Right, so like I said, that's speculation. There is no truth in that is coming to us. I'm just saying, is there a way that we could get in touch with him? Moving to our midfielders.
It'll be interesting to see. Well, I'll have a word with Chris and see if we can get a Palace supporter on the Football Uncensored channel. By the way, anybody watching who's not aware of it, we'll have a sister channel, Football Uncensored, which does all sorts of shows, including the live matches. So we'll be on there tonight for the England game.
7:30,
not
isn't
actually, but if you go on to NUFC Talk TV, you should be redirected to it anyway. But that's a sister channel which has recently started up. So get over there and see what we're doing. There's a few new things coming up there.
Absolutely. So we're going to move into the midfield because we're going further forward now in the park. There's talks previously about Arthur Melo, and obviously there've been linked somewhere along the line looking at these midfielders. But I looked this morning and I read an article literally just as I was taking the girls to school that Lazio's Matteo Guendouzi from Aston Villa. Apparently they've bid a £21 million, and Newcastle are looking at hijacking this kid. Again, I don't know how true this rumor is because it is literally just speculation, but it seemed quite a decent link. And obviously Guendouzi, I think he's French guy, 25-year-old. He's quite an aggressive little Frenchman. He could play defensive or attacking. Played 33 games last season, 2 goals and 3 assists. But he did get a few yellow cards and sending off. But it does. What I was going to ask you, Win, regarding about all these rumours, because obviously there seems to be quite a heavy link now towards midfielders. And at one time we were saying about obviously we were overloaded in midfield. If you think we've got Tonali coming back now, Willock, we used to have Anderson, Miley, Longstaff.
Well, that's the point. That's the point, isn't it?
But now we've come full circle, haven't we? Because now we've lost Anderson, so we're down to 5. Now we've lost Miley for at least 12 weeks because of his injury. We're down to the bare necessities now. And what I was going to ask you, matey, is Willock, because obviously last year Willock was a non-starter, wasn't he? I think it was 4 starts, 4 sub appearances in 38 games. Pretty shocking. So, is it the fact that now Eddie's looking at what we've got available and knowing that they're a little bit injury prone, if you like? Because I was disappointed with Joe Willock last year. I know you can't help being injured, but I did find it really frustrating when we were desperately looking for some support. It just wasn't there. So is it the fact that now, because of his injury proneness, if you like, we are trying to strengthen the midfield with these guys?
Well, I think the fact that we've lost Anderson, we were saying during, when we've had discussions in the past few weeks, midfield we don't need to worry about, and at the time we were saying we don't need to worry about because we've got 3 positions and we've got 7 players for those 3 positions. So we've got Tonali, J7 and Bruno, we would think starters, and then on the back of that we had Willock, Anderson, Longstaff, and Miley. Now Anderson's gone. Miley, we know, is not going to be available for 12 weeks. And that leaves us Willock, who's highly injury prone. And who does that leave? Good old Shonio.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I said he's never going to lose him.
Is that all from all of a sudden being well covered in midfield?
Yeah.
Does that leave us threadbare in midfield?
Again, yeah.
Now, then, if Willock fully recovers from his injuries, then that's fine. But Guendouzi, if I just stick this up. No, that's what you call a heat map.
Yeah. He covers a lot of ground, this lad.
He covers a lot. That's his season heat map. Interestingly, that was his one game. That was one game against Marseille. And if It doesn't say which game that one was. That was against Marseille. That's his season heat map. And
on the left, isn't it?
That's pretty damn impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's going to be a season, isn't it?
That's a season.
Yeah, for the Arsenal. Yeah, we that's what we said.
No, not for the Arsenal.
It was
right. That was the kid that put it up.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, he is a tenacious, mayor. He does get around, but like I say, he does pick up a lot of cards as well. So, but it goes back to what we were saying. We have become going from top heavy. Now we've become a little bit threadbare, and we need a couple of signings just to reassure the Shores, if you like, about the depth of the squad. You were saying about buying the quality, and that reassures up the bench anyway. But in these type of positions, you've got the quality there already, so we just need those little bit of game changes, if you like, because obviously Guendouzi's game is totally different to what we've got in the field already, and obviously we know Tonali is going to feel like a new signing anyway. Foxy's put, I think Palace will accept that for now. That can change if they go break into Europe. They should be worried about losing Munoz, mostly a standout player for Colombia. Absolutely, he was quality.
He's on display again tonight, of course. That'll be interesting.
A mate of yours here, look, Gary McRae. I went with a mighty win at Lansdowne Taxis.
Well, I was the best taxi driver they ever had, and you know I was.
Oh, bless. There you go. The confessions of a taxi driver. Did you do them things with fake taxi, by the way? I don't know.
Tell you a few of them.
I can imagine. So I'm just going to have a Foxy ASM join Josie at Fenner on loan, taking less wages. Good move for both. Yeah, he's gone over there, hasn't he? So, Beer Viking, Harrison's coming in for Anderson. I heard that one.
That's the other. Absolutely.
I heard that one. He's had a good end of the season, so he's looking promising. Gary McRae, I think Newcastle will sign Morgan Gibbs White. Well, I'm going to come to that in a second, buddy.
Well, we've certainly got lines of communication well and truly open between us and Forest now, haven't we?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, isn't it? But I mean, when we look at like these players, these aren't the type of bench warming players. These are players that will put the lads that are on the park to the sword, if you like, and we'll be looking for first team football. So I like that type of fact. I want to see a squad where everybody's fighting for the place and not just sitting there thinking they're in the side before they've even laced the shoes. Right, let's move on to the forward lineup, because this is one where it was a little bit interesting, if I'm honest. Obviously, now we've got we're really heavily linked with Jared Bowen. It seems he's the main focus for the world, and his brother out there seems to think that he's coming to Newcastle. I'm not so sure. I really aren't so sure. But there was a link out there.
Well, actually, I don't think you're right there, guy. I don't think the world and his brother think he is coming to Newcastle. I think the world and his brother are saying there's no way he's going to come to Newcastle due to the fact that he's married to Danny Dyer's daughter and massive West Ham fan. So most the popular opinion is there's no way we're going to get Jared Bowen.
I think that's more from the fans. If you look at the media reports, he's the main target, and I think, like I said,
I would love to think so. But again, is this not just Newcastle throwing smoke screens out so that everybody goes and spends their big bucks on Jared Bowen, and then we nick in and get Nico Williams or something like that?
Like that, yeah. Well, this morning I read, and this was really strange, because in the past we have both said he's going to cost 100 million plus, but this morning they suggested it would cost a lot less. So.
Well, Daniela, the West Ham fan, who will get on regularly in the chat, she has said, "No way would you get him for less than 100." And we said that
against Isaac, didn't we? No way.
I mean, he's signed his contract at 2030.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. But again, it's whether contracts only as value as the player, isn't it? If the player says, "I want to move," then what do you do?
Well, if the player's unsettled, of course.
FFP buy back to the new year. Jan sales. Ron says, can we sell a player in the summer because of the FFP and buy them back in the new year? Jan sales.
Well, of course you can.
Yeah, you can
Nothing to
buy
stop
back
you
whatever
doing
you
that.
want, I suppose. Yeah. But what was interesting on this, matey, is the 20-year-old German that we've been licked with, Brajan Gruda of Mainz. He's more like Gibbs White, to be fair, because obviously when you look at his profile, he's more that number 10 that sits out on the right-hand side, but naturally runs the right wing. And I don't know whether you want to have a quick look while I'm having a quick scratch of my arm, because I think I've been
Who we're
bitten
looking
by
for?
something. Brajan Gruda, Gruda. He plays for Mainz. Last year he played 28 games. He got 4 goals, 3 assists.
Mainz.
But again, Mainz. But there's lots of interest across Europe applying for this young man's signature. So he is a tremendous little player. Absolutely think he's obviously been 20-year-old. He's one up and coming lad that's going to be worth an absolute fortune in a few years' time. Dennis Zhu, hello, sir. I haven't seen your name before. You're more than welcome. Don't forget, guys, all those that are watching, just while we're waiting for Win, to have a look through some of this lad's. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the bell for any previous note or future notifications, I should say, not previous. Doesn't anybody know who Staveley is leaving Newcastle? Or why Staveley is leaving Newcastle? Well, no, not at the minute. Not until I've read the reports, matey. The lads that are in the background have given us all the information that they know. But again, it's according to what Wynne was saying just in the report, she wasn't, or there's no mention of her actually leaving. But again, I suppose the press will be running this and giving us more details as time goes by. Ron has come up with
that I like.
It will be sad day for the Toon women's game. Yes, there you go. Like I said, he plays like a Gibbs White. He can play centrally, but he loves that right wing. And like I said, he is one for the future. And there is plenty, as you can see, even on the Google that he's put on there. Look, the Newcastle badge above the Villa badge, and I think Dortmund are in for him. There's absolute loads and loads and loads hunting for this guy's signature. But I like him. I really do like him. Foxy's put down here, Gruda did well, a really poor Mainz team. Would expect him to step up to a bigger German team to break into the national team before coming to England. That's a good shout as well, but I'd still give him a chance if we had the chance.
Foxy knows his
stuff. Look at this guy, and I'm just going to talk about him now because I didn't think anybody had heard of this guy until I'd seen the reports about the potential. Karim Adeyemi. And that was somebody else that I'd read about this. You did so much work in the morning, just trying to get these shows going forward, because obviously you don't want to keep repeating what's happened and everything else. And when I saw this guy's name, it wasn't somebody that I expected to see. I'd only ever seen him a couple of times in highlights and stuff like that, and he looked half decent, but he didn't really have a great season last year. Plays for Dortmund, left-footed centre forward, 22-year-old, I believe he is, 22, 23-year-old. Plays across the front line. He plays left-hand side for Dortmund, I believe. But he's a left-footed forward. Again, didn't have a great year. Played 21 games, 3 goals, and only 1 assist. But he was injured for quite a bit of last year, I believe. But this guy, if I'm honest,
and left winger according to transfer mark.
Yeah, he's a left-footed player. That's why they throw him out on the wing to get the balls into the box, where we would have him as an inverted winger, because that's what Eddie Howe likes. He likes those left-footed, right-sided players. I don't think we'll get him because I believe at the minute Chelsea have already got in there, and I'm not sure whether they've agreed any price or anything yet. But now the talks are well underway. Beer Viking has said that he played against us in the Champions League. So yeah, that like I said, it's the only game I've seen him. And as much as he didn't light up the night that night. It was a very strange game. I believe from again my memory, and I would never go on my memory because it doesn't suit me at the best of times. But he does he does play a very good role on that left side for them, and for us playing that right side inverted. I think he could do some damage. I really do believe he could be one to watch. Yeah, Daniela's back in the chat. Welcome, Daniela. Bowen won't be want to be West Ham new captain. So how is that a player who wants to leave the club? Yeah, listen, I'm only saying that that's what's in the press meet, sweetie. I don't tend to know everything. I'm just going on what the press is saying. Thanks for pronouncing my name correctly and surname. I'm Australian, but French father. Do disappointing morning for less blues, but go England. Yes. That'll be one that we, if you want to watch
Denis
us later, Denny's, you can more than be free to come and join us later on. Start at 7 on the other channel. Yeah, feel free to join us, anybody that's out there. And you are more than welcome to the channel, Dennis. But again, guys, don't forget to hit the like button. We are coming towards the end of the show. Because there's another link to there's a link that's just not gone away, and then there's another new link this morning. Which are you still looking for this guy? For the information?
I've got him there now.
Okay. So this is Adiemi, yeah?
Nah.
Karim Adiemi. Is this his heat map?
And this is his season heat map.
I mean, like I say, there's not going to tell us a lot because they play him on the left-hand side.
It kind of is.
Oh, okay. I haven't looked. Oh, right. Okay. He plays it. Yeah, you can see that he's
So
had
very much left-handed, left-hand side. You know, he can venture on the right, but there's his predominant. You know, in the centre as well, of course, because. One of the articles I've just had a quick glance at had him as the heir apparent to Haaland, which of course is praise indeed.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, absolutely. That would be interesting.
But like predominantly left and centre and not right where we want to be looking.
Well, I don't want to upset Daniela, so I'll say it again. This is all speculation.
No,
now, there's no links to these. It's just obviously what's in the media.
And I'm on your side, Daniela. I don't think there's a cat and hell's chance. I would love to get him, but absolutely. I don't think there's a cat and hell's chance of it coming.
But like I said, again, the report said this morning that he is at the top of our list. I don't know. I'm just saying. So the other one that come to, like I say, it's not a new name, but it was Antti Elanga. Now, Elanga obviously had got a lot of praise from Andy Cole, saying that if he was to come to Newcastle and play under Eddie Howe, he'd become a better player. And now, don't forget, Elanga's only a 22-year-old, so he's still got literally his future in front of him. All his better football should be in front of him. So if he did come now, maybe that would be something that Eddie Howe could get. 22, played 36 times. Some are believers sub, 5 goals, 9 assists. So again, didn't set the world alight, but again, you know, he's playing in a Forest team that again didn't set anything alight. Had some good games, but didn't really trouble a lot of the teams. It troubled us at St James's Park, but that's a different story for a different day. But yeah, again, Elanga is one that I think will keep going. I think he's one of those guys, like you said, as Wynne said before. Now we've got a little bit of contact with Forest, with these player swaps and things like that. I think it's one that will probably happen more than not. So we'll see on that one. while Wynn's having a quick look at this lad's heat map, I'm just going to have a look at what
And
Foxy's
there's
put.
his heat map.
I still would like Luciano Rodriguez for right wing. His move to Girona has broken down this week over a 25% sell-on clause. Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I think he's a great player. I'd love to see Rodriguez in a black and white shirt. Josh Toon Army Philly. Hey guys, with the watching Adiemi, can't even remember him playing centrally. He does drift into bunch, but mostly pacey and not much more. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
now, obviously, with Josh,
Josh is a massive Dortmund fan, of course.
Absolutely. So that's what I said.
So he watches every game,
and he's put this. He's kind of like Elanga, but on the left. There you go.
I would still like to see a heat map where we've got a lot more here from the right winger that we're saying.
But that's what I'm saying, matey. I think the problem is with Elanga being in a poor Forest side, you're going to have him dropping back because he would have been more defending than attacking.
So I don't know whether you're going to get onto my man in a minute, but we'll see where you're going. Go on.
No, I mean the one that really cropped up, and like I say, these are stories. I haven't gone down and looked at any avenues because like I say, there's a lot of ITK people that seem to just spurt out names willy-nilly. I've looked at potential, or say credible links, I should say. Now, there's one that come up this morning. In actual fact, this was sent to me last night by my mate Andy Bell, who's a member of the channel, and he will be part of the panel when he gets the chance. But obviously, with family commitments and things like that, he's going to struggle on the odd occasion. But he will be coming along to be part of the panel during the day. Now, he sent me this one about Jonathan David, the Canadian playing for Ligue 1 Lyon. 34 games, 19 goals and 4 assists. Now, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I originally, because obviously when you look at his stats, 34 games, 19 goals, 4 assists, you think he's going to obviously do a job for us. But having watched the highlights of Canada and Argentina last night, but throughout the tournament in the Copa, he's not ripped up any trees whatsoever. And obviously, me and Win in the green room previous was saying exactly that. There's not enough show from this lad, but he has had a very good season in Ligue 1. Say 19 goals and 4 assists. So again, I've seen snippets, but nothing major. But straight away last night, and like I say, Andy Bell he's probably watched a lot more European games than I do. Was a no straight away. Not for me. He's not that type of player. So I don't know anything more about this lad apart from there was a heavy link to him this morning. And I don't know where. And again, Mighty Win said not for me this morning. So I don't know if anybody in the chat can give us any heads up on that. I don't know. Where is for me? He was like Australia. So Bia saying that Adjemi wants to go to Chelsea. So there you go. So he'll be gone because obviously Chelsea seem to pick up all the strays. Ron, has there been any news about City lawsuit? No, but apparently that's pending. I read that this morning too. The actual they're going to I don't know whether it's going to be made public, but the actual results from it is pending. That's what they said this morning. I know you two fans would have Bowen. Who would not? But the Football Insider are the most clueless. I didn't get it from Football Insider. I don't look at students writing stuff down, sweetheart. But I agree with you. A lot of it's all speculation. There's nothing out there that's in the know. No. I don't support Dortmund. I support Stuttgart. Oh, sorry, Josh. Didn't want to upset you, mate. Kelly W. Bowen, not even worth talking about. Non-events. There you go. Like I said, we have to talk about it. We have to. We do agree.
I'll tell you who is worth talking about. Rafinha. And none other than Fabrizio.
Let me just do this, and then you can finish off with Rafinha, because I just want to finish these off so we get down to the bottom. Jemmy can go where he wants. Beer Viking, I think he's overrated and would bust whatever you boys. Dennis, you contact the website and join our worldwide show. Yeah, that's a great idea, actually, Mighty.
If he's in
If you're interested,
Australia,
yeah, you'll be more than welcome to join the worldwide. When's that on now, Mighty? Because I do forget all
well,
of
it's
these
not
shows
on.
now.
It's normally on a Wednesday night,
On a
11 o'clock,
Wednesday, it is, yeah.
or depending on who's coming on from where, depending on their time zones, we sometimes switch to about this time, so that we can put them on. But I've got some Colombians and Ecuadorians lined up.
Ooh.
So of course they are behind us. So we might end up going at something like 9 o'clock in the morning, so that they can jump on board, or 4 o'clock in the morning, even, you know, and then UFC Insomniac show.
Exactly. Kev, no, we've heard nothing, mate. Just speculation in the media. Apart from there's obviously the big arrangement, say a meeting arranged at Newcastle, and we don't know what that's for. Whether it's for players or whether it's for sponsors. We're just surmising, buddy. So no news yet. Amanda going? Yes, we've heard that this morning. It was hot on the press from one of the lads in the show. So we don't know a lot about the details that's been given. Apart from obviously she is finishing this year or during the year. Kev says wins never away, far from a fit Siggy. David Knight, what do you do with your 5K on the game Mighty Win, where we've already
Well,
talked about that?
you've obviously tuned in late because,
Yeah.
And you mustn't have been watching the chat last night, because I put it in the chat last night. But it was
Exactly.
three nights in a 5-star hotel in London and 7 West End shows.
Bowen's too expensive. No go. Yeah, that's what we said. That's a big problem.
Well, you see, I disagree with that.
From the media.
I don't think £100 million would put us off Bourne.
No, but I don't think it. Like I said, there was talk this morning that it wouldn't even cost 100 million. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think the price, unless it goes something stupid, you know, I wouldn't be over 100 million. But I don't think £100 million would put Eddie Howe off. Because that's the going rate these days for top quality footballers.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking elite footballer here, by the way. Premiership proven elite footballer. And sorry to say, that's the going rate these days. We wouldn't even consider selling Gordon, J7 or Bruno for less than that. Not a chance. So if
like I say,
they are the caliber of players that we need to be bringing in if we want to start really, really challenging at the top.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day under John Hall, when we started this was when multi-million pound transfers were relatively rare. But we bust the bank for Shearer, world record, still the only British club to break the world record transfer.
Yeah.
Still, we're the only one. Let nobody tell you anything else. Man City with all that money, Abramovich with all his rubles, Liverpool, Man United, richest club in the world. They have never broken the world transfer record. We have. Little old Newcastle have. And back in the day then, that's exactly what John Hall was trying to build. And we were regularly, buying 5, 6, 7 million pound footballers when that was not the norm. And we were just buying elite players, putting them in the team, and look what we did. We slipped up at the final hurdle a couple of times, but that's where PIF want us to be right now. So I don't think paying big money is going to be a problem, especially not once we get the mega money in from the sponsorships that we're hoping for. Now, hopefully, you've just mentioned the Man City lawsuit.
Yeah.
And if they can establish that the associated party transactions rules, which the Premier League brought in, are anti-competitive. If that should happen, then the floodgates, trust me, will open.
Yeah.
We'll have the Saudi telecom company, which was just mentioned before. We'll have Aramco, biggest oil company in the world. We'll have Saudi, who want to get up there and compete with your Qatars and your Emirates, who are now, by the way, world leaders in air travel. You know, world leaders. Qatar Air as well are up there, and they all want to be in that marketplace.
Mm.
And the Premier League is an instant way to have your name bandied about worldwide, because the whole world watches the Premiership. If you can get your sponsorship on a Premiership club, it doesn't even matter which one you are, because the Premiership itself is what's attracting the money.
Yeah,
it is so
True.
widely watched as an advertising medium. There is probably no finer vehicle to use right now than the Premiership. Commercial for the Premiership over.
You have been sponsored by. Just a couple that I wanted to look at before I lose track. Kenny W said he saw Rafinha last week. Don't know when he saw him or whether it was just a link. What's happening tonight? So obviously me and Win will be doing the live England match from 7:30 on the other channel, on the sister channel. So come and join us over there. There he goes. He's getting ready and prepared. Foxy saying if you look at David's stats, he looks solid. If you actually watch him play, he's been poor. David's international record looks decent as well and hasn't scored.
Well, I say you've always got to always got to temper stats with the eye test.
Eye test, absolutely. Bet Will has to pay a bomb for his fags. Kev, you just went on TikTok. PAF want to buy it out. PIF.
There you go. You haven't got the background ready.
Exactly, ready to go. No chance we go for Bowen.
Get on tonight.
You don't advertise like this if you're going for him. Yeah, we've said that as well. We've said that these are just like obviously red herrings, and then we're going to go somewhere else to collect the goods. And fair play. I hope we do.
And in reply to Kenny, I cannot remember the last time I paid English duty on a packet of tabs.
Joe Johnson, if he wants to keep playing, then you can't offer him player coach role. Why don't we offer him a coaching role at the club? I'd like to see him go. I think he's on about Dubravka there. When we were talking about Dubravka.
Is he not on about Trips?
Oh, yeah, probably. Well, Trips still wants to play football. He's not going to go. I know he stated that he wants to go.
That's exactly what I was about to say. No, Trips still thinks he can. He can,
absolutely. I mean, he did say that he'd go into the lower leagues to play football. He doesn't have to stay in the Premiership. But like I say, I still think he's probably got another 12 to 18 months in his legs. I just don't know what's happened to him at the moment. He just doesn't seem the same lad. Again, speculation with the family breakup and things like that. It just seems to have destroyed him. But it's whether he can come and put a black and white shirt on and still play under Eddie Howe, because that's at the end of the day, for me, he's a leader. He's one of the leaders of the club. So I don't want to see him go at all. But if that's what has to happen, then that's what has to happen. Gary McRae was saying about breaking news on Sky Sports, Piff to buy Staveley's obviously percentage. Joe Johnson, you are not a snooker player, are you? No, I don't know whether he is. Breaking news on Sky Sports, Piff, yeah. So we've lots going on the Sky Sports about Amanda Staveley and being bought out by PIF. Maybe it is the English effect again, like with managers. But for me, Bowen does not excite me. Okay. I'd rather take someone around the Isaac price point, but yet not yet proven.
That's what you're paying the premium for. Because
it's a gamble with anybody. Whether look at look at Anthony at United. You know what I mean? The other United. I mean,
Yeah,
Christ, how much money they paid on him, and he's been absolutely dross.
yeah, but
And
not
that's the gamble.
Premiership proven.
That's what I'm saying. If you go that way, then you're taking a bigger gamble. Mate, you've missed nearly the whole show, buddy. Aren't PIF not allowed to face of the club? That's what I thought Amanda was. I think they can still buy her shares, but they can still employ her as
Well,
being
buy the
a
lot if they
member of
want.
the club. She can be on, some part of the background, and I'm sure she'll remain that way. I have confidence that that's what will happen
I'd be
because
really
I'm
sad to
sure.
see her go.
Yeah, I'm sure I heard that last year that there was she was going to lose her 6% as well,
Yeah, I'm sure.
or she was
I
thinking
think
about,
that's already. I
but
think
she
it's
was going to
already.
remain, behind the scenes. So I
Yeah.
don't think that'll change. Oh, I hope not. Anyway, let's see. Um, Brian says, "Oh, I went back. I all." Um, Josh, I should clarify. Bowen doesn't excite me for 100 million. That's fair
Well,
enough.
he excites me.
That's your opinion, my friend, and I respect that. Getting Bowen would like paying 180 million or more for him, release clause included.
And that's not
Yeah,
true.
no. Other owners, 10%. Jamie Rubens might be face of the team. Yeah, absolutely. I hate release clauses. They are irritating. Yeah. Josh, I agree with that. 100 million Bowen. Nah, mate. 60
Well,
to 50 to 60. Yeah.
Josh, and Kevin and Brian agree, but I don't. What's new there?
Yeah. Cheers, Brian. Kenny, think it's stick EastEnders in case Bowen does come in. Fair enough. No. 100 mil, I want to
That's
see
Danny
him.
with an eye, of course. She's in EastEnders,
Yeah.
I believe. I can't remember the last time I watched an episode of that. Dirty Den was still in the last EastEnders I saw.
Ooh. Now I need cheers. Haha. I don't. Brian and Im Chamong. This is the what's that? This is the first I've seen of you. I'm joking.
I've seen, that's Geordie first.
That's yeah, exactly. Forced. Brian's coming in with a few bits and pieces. Right, I think that is a lot of. Brian obviously likes a bit of a joke. The only problem is with joking, Brian, if I'm honest with you, matey. Sometimes in text it does come across not in the same vein. So we just have to be a little bit careful what we show on the screen. I'm not ignoring you. I am watching you, but I just have to be careful what I put on there because obviously we are during daytime and I do not want the channel to get into trouble. Insomnia playing for England tonight. Yes, exactly. Foxy, Bowen, a brilliant player, will do good on the pitch for us, but really good business for someone that's 27. Leaves little room for us to improve the squad in other areas. Yeah, I agree with that one.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't because I think we have got 150 mil to spend already in the war chest. And
yeah,
if the new excuse me sponsorship deal comes in before September, which has every likelihood it will, that just it doesn't mean it means we'll still have money to spend elsewhere. Especially bear in mind that with amortization, okay, you're kicking the ball down the road a bit, but we can afford to do that now because we're going from a standing start again. So that's if we're buying Bone for 100 million, that's only 20 million that's coming out of this year's budget, and 20 million out the next year's, and so on and so forth for 5 years. So it doesn't mean that we can't buy anybody else.
no,
We can still buy Bowen and a couple more. Hopefully a striker and a centre half. And with getting rid of, I'm saying getting rid of, that's a horrible expression to use, with being forced by Premiership madness to have to sell Anderson.
yeah,
That's the hole that needs filling, especially in the light of Miley being injured.
exactly.
Because again, with him being such a young kid and that sort of injury, you know more than that about me, more than me about that, Gary. Could it affect him long term?
No,
Will he develop in the same way that everybody's hoping and expecting that he will develop.
You know, like I was trying to say before, the problem is with Miley. If you look at him, his size, you know, he's 6'4", 6'5",
Yeah, and still
quite
growing
large
by all
feet.
accounts.
Yeah, yes, 17, and yeah, he's still growing. So yes, he has got type of a gangly type stride, and people, you know, if you look at what we class in the medical term as his gait, the way he naturally runs, it's a little bit strange. But everybody has their own way of running. And the problem is if this injury has come from him trying to, and I alluded to this the other day, trying to increase his pace from a standing start, then there should be some supervision with that. You can't just go out there and try and do that yourself because things like this unfortunately happen. So maybe because again we've been going on for quite a while. What I'll probably do is have a look at some of the injuries and things that can happen maybe in another thing. But because we've still not finished the show at the moment, I'm going to just fall back on that one. But yeah, there's a number of reasons. It could be from a previous injury that hadn't healed properly, or as a weakness on the bone. There's a number of things, but there's something that we can look at for future. What I am going to do before I go back in the chat, because there seems to be quite a lot coming through the chat at the minute, is something that just obviously doesn't go away. Another story that keeps on turning its other head. Anthony Gordon's still now obviously showing this link to City, and it seems to be gathering pace. A lot more media speculation that Anthony Gordon is going to be approached by City. And what I read this morning wasn't surprising as much as how long it's taken for this to raise its ugly head, if you like. Bruno Guimaraes, Real Madrid apparently are showing a lot of interest with the retirement of Toni Kroos. And obviously, Luka Modric now coming to the end of his career. He only really shows as a substitute these days. But apparently, they're really looking at Bruno as a type of player that could steady the ship. So I was a little bit, like I said, I was expecting somebody to come, and I think the club were expecting somebody to come and release that trigger clause because it would have got them out of all the mire that we're in, or we were in, a few days ago. So this has come out of the blue this morning. Again, you know what reporters like, or agents are like, and things like that. You have to take. Sorry, my dog is bringing a ball to my lap as we speak, wanting me to play with him. So apologies if you hear somebody like a naughty phone call of heavy breathing. It's my dog panting. So yeah, that was a strange one, and like I say, it came completely out the blue. But how true it is, I don't know.
I would say a massive, massive pinch of salt. Couple of reasons.
Go on.
One is that Bruno, by all accounts, is a Barcelona fan. So Real Madrid wouldn't be first on his hit list, although nobody would turn a move to
I'm going to
Real
say,
Madrid
who would turn
down.
them down?
But secondly, I think Madrid's budget has already gone.
Right. Okay. I mean, again, I don't know. It was just something that I read this morning, and because of everything that was out there, it was a case of, you know, how much momentum could this have? Because, like I say, when you look at Real Madrid's midfield, by losing Kroos and
Yeah, I
Modric,
agree.
you know,
Makes
they'll need
perfect
somebody.
sense. Makes
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
sense.
And like you've just said there, even though he may like Barcelona as you know, mentally a supporter, but if somebody like Real Madrid come knocking at your door, you certainly wouldn't turn it down, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
So, like I said, that's one to keep an eye on,
But
because
again,
I don't know how
if
much
I'm going to
momentum that.
lose one player out of our golden triangle, if you like, if I'm going to lose one of those players, the one I would rather lose is Bruno.
Yeah,
Rather than
I know you
you're
said
talking
that
about
before.
Gordon and Man City. I would move heaven and earth to prevent Gordon leaving. I think he's crucial to our plans.
Yeah,
Well, I'm saying the golden triangle. That's four, I suppose, really, isn't there? You've got to include Isaac in there. But I would rather lose Isaac or Bruno than Gordon or Jason.
Just want to say hi, Betsy.
Hey,
Hope you well, my
Betsy.
darling.
Up early.
Couple of stars that I'm going to just quickly go on to before I go any further. Ron said Spain to win the Euros. Gary's coming. If Newcastle buy Trafford, do you think we have got a future England left back, right back, and goalkeeper?
That's a possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said,
But
if you look at the way
I wouldn't pay big money for Trafford. That's the only thing.
well, that's what we said before. I mean, like I said, now we've obviously lost Dubs's route out potentially. We've got five goalkeepers now. So what's going to happen? That's going to massively delay Trafford coming into the club unless there's a plan somewhere. And like I said, these meetings, do end up having plans. Kenny W has said, why pay 100 million for Bruno after the clause? You can offer 60 or 70. And we said that before. It wasn't the clause that I was worried about. It was the now time because you can offer less and with a little bit of temptation, maybe a player.
But we're not going to accept that. The clause, what the clause did was meant you could go for 100 million. Anybody comes in for him now, you're looking at 120 plus, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mags debates. Can you ask Gary how he come to support the tune and what his mates think? I come from Monk Sitting Bit, but I start talking like that when I talk to him, but I can't talk like it all the time because my missus Garn's mad at me. No, I've lived in the Midlands for absolutely years, my friend. And I've always been a toonie, always supported the tune, and the lads, my friends are all Wolves, Villa, and the likes. Some Brummies supporters, and I've had the P took out of me for my entire life. Never stopped me, and it will never stop me.
Geordie Yam Yam.
Yeah, Geordie Yam Yam is my nickname, and it's been with me for years. And that's who I am. What's this? This meeting on Friday, Mitchell is the only one who's attending. How won't be there? Oh, okay, Ryan. I don't know why.
Where has that information come from, Ryan? Where's your ITK source?
Yeah, exactly. That's from somewhere. Just gonna, like I say, listen, guys. Thanks ever so much for all the comments and for all the watchers. Again, I'm just going to come to the final part of the, and it literally is just tidbits, really. So just before we go, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe for any future vids that we do. Just again, question mark on players leaving. I heard there's a threat now to Isaac Hayden that if he doesn't find another club or leave, that he will only be playing with the reserves. Again, don't know how true that is, but it's out there that Isaac Hayden has been told by the club to find another team to play for, as he will not be training with the first team. So again, Miggy Almiron, and nothing regarding Miggy. There's still a couple of clubs from Saudi out there, but nothing official approach-wise. Same for
just
Callum
on the
Wilson.
housekeeping front, Gary, we've got 252 watching live now.
Yeah,
a lot of those are on Facebook and TikTok. If those guys can come onto YouTube and hit the like for us and subscribe, we would be more than grateful.
Absolutely, and that's absolutely true. Kenny W said here that I thought Bruno said the only team he would sign for was Real Madrid. So I don't know.
Well, there was the rumours last year, wasn't there? When he was singing his Bruno's Magic Hat song at the party that he was at, there was rumours there that the Barcelona chief scout was at the same party, and all those silly rumours came out then. But it's gossip.
Yeah,
believe not a word.
Yeah, Ryan says attending this board meeting, only Mitchell attends, as he's the head of football, not Eddie. It depends on what they're talking about, buddy, because they had the same meeting last year at the same venue. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to be all about football. Now, whether this is Mitchell going in, Paul Mitchell going in and discussing what monies he's got available for certain players that before he goes down to Eddie, then that's potential. I'm not saying who's there. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if they're not all attending, because this meeting last year was the kickstart to players coming in. Beer Vikings was offered dubs to part payment for Trafford. Yeah, that's a potential. But again, is that where
Makes
he's
sense. But the Burnley want Dubs. That's the
does Dubs want Burnley? I think that's the thing. Josh says not a chance to give up Bruno this summer, less than 100 million.
Correct.
Kenny, Monk's eating posh end of Whitley beer. Depends on where you are, my friend. If anybody knows the shops opposite the park, some of them shops are owned by my family. Yeah,
There you go.
I wouldn't class them as posh.
You say the station?
Aye, so you got Monk's Eaton Station, and then you've got the park, and then you've got the shops on the corner.
Yeah.
Abbott's and Monk's Eaton. Is it Monk's Eaton Drive? If I remember right, the shops there. We own the flats above them, so I stayed in one of them when I was up there. So my cousin's still there, Walpole. So
there you go.
It's a board meeting for chief execs, and the financial will be there. So yeah, there you go. When I was born, I lived in the Carcades in Spanish City. Yeah, Ron, I've probably met you more than you know, because I used to live in the Spanish City when it was there. When it was proper Spanish City. It's nothing like it is now.
What the butler saw. Get your penny in.
Exactly. You've seen the news on Amanda. Yes, we have, buddy. Foxy, will Miggy want to go to Saudi, especially seeing Maxi only last a year there? Well, you've been the main guy to say that anybody going out there will only last a year. And like I say, you often right, buddy. You said exactly the same. If Miggy goes out there, he won't last more than a year. But it's potential. We're not live on TikTok. We are live on X and Twitter as well.
All right. Well, there you go.
There you go.
If you're watching on X and Twitter, get onto YouTube and give us a big thumbs up and subscribe.
Yeah. So Beer says meeting invites can be sent out to anybody for part of full meeting. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know who's attending, and I'm not, like I say, I'm not expecting the world and his brother to attend, but I do think this will be the kickstart of bringing players in. Mighty Win, did you know Amanda has Huntington's disease? So a settlement makes sense. Yeah, we did. That's what we said. She is poorly, but I think it's got more to do with the bankruptcy.
I think it's more to do with the business side of things than the Huntington side of things.
I'm taking 60 Spanish City. I'm not that old. So you beat me, Ron. But yeah, it was a lovely part of the town. To be fair, I loved it. North Parade, South Parade was my hunting grounds. To be fair. So guys, that is virtually it. I've just got one little bit of other news. Win, you can go to sleep now, mate, if you want, because I know you don't like this part. The two leaders have signed the Golden Glove girl of the championship, Claudia Moan from Sunderland, to be the new keeper for their return into their new season in the championship. So well done, the ladies. I hope you have an amazing year, because they're signing some really, really good players. So from me, that is the end of anything. I'm just going to make sure I've covered everything in there. Ryan's got one last point. Is there any point of the Rubens? They're never around and they're just taking profits. Well, I think what we see is, you can wake up now when I've done it. I think what we see is a snippet of their main job. I think Amanda's the voice for the media. And I think the Rubens are there to make decisions that Amanda presents. That's how I see it. How do you see it, Win?
Well, the one thing that the Rubens have got is Gosforth Park. Huge piece of real estate. 3 miles outside Newcastle. So that's the one thing the Rubens have got. And hey, listen, if the Rubens 10% was instrumental in being able to for Amanda being able to pull off the deal to eventually get the club from Mike Ashley. They are worth every penny that they ever make out of this football club, and good on them. And thank you very much, Reuben brothers. Stay as long as you want. Take as much as you want, because we wouldn't be where we are now without you.
Without you, absolutely. So, guys, that's it. We've done all the chats. We've done all the news that's out there this morning. It's taken me absolutely hours to read through multiple stories, put it all down, pull out the rubbish that looks total rubbish, because there's a lot out there.
Well done, young man.
Yeah, well, we got there in the end. Like I say, we've been going for just under 2 hours. So I want to really thank the mods in the background for their support. I want to thank my mate on the left of me or the right of me, my right-hand man, the Mighty Win, because he supports me with putting stuff up on the screen while I filter through all the stuff. But most of all, I want to thank all the watchers and viewers that stayed with us for all this time, because without you, the show just wouldn't be a show. So again, before we go, hit the like, hit the subscribe. See you tonight at 7:30 for the England game on our sister channel. Keep your eyes peeled for that.
Visit the website, buy the merch.
Do whatever you want.
Lots of stuff. Visit the catalogue.
Yeah, up the tune.
Up the tune. And how are the lads? Come on, England tonight.
It's a goodbye from him.
And don't, good. And it's a goodbye from him. But don't forget the Football Uncensored tonight, England v Holland.
And, yeah. See you later, guys. Take care. Have a lovely rest of the day.